says, your immersive experience has been hijacked. It is highly recommended that you disconnect. Good evening, and welcome to the Immersive Experience, a podcast about you, for you, from you. I'm your guide, Desi Lou, and tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome a poetic voice that transcends borders, Tha Ono. Born in Trinidad and Tobago's vibrant landscape, his early work pulsed with the soulful rhythms of Caribbean culture, weaving tales of love, loss, and human resilience. After a 2 decade hiatus where life steered him away from poetry, the global upheaval of the COVID-19 pandemic, weren't we all in an uproar, reignited his creative flame, returning to verse with renewed urgency. His words, infused with decades of wisdom and a profound sensitivity to life's fragility, now captivate audiences worldwide. Beyond his equivocal imagery and rhythmic cadence, the Ono channels his platform to advocate for the voiceless, bleeding artistry with activism. His journey from youthful poet to international acclaimed wordsmith stands as a testament to creativity's power to heal, unite, and ignite change. Please join me in welcoming the Ono and his poetic piece. I hope you guys enjoy.
Good night, world. So, for the first piece, it's about our life and how sometimes those who are the voice of reason, they become the one who retreat. So, this is Bushman's Echo. Silent desert in the cradle of life, he walks alone beneath a sky torn asunder. Flames lick horizon's edge, world artificial voice drowned in thunder. Once a voice of reason, a beacon amid chaos, speaking truths that cut as fire tossed. Now condemned by those who sought the chaos crowned, here lies a hermit, a bushman, shadow in the sand, watching the world burn. Fury born of greed and blood, wounds deep, scars unhealed. From his lonely perch, gazing upon smoke that rise as ghostly banners, crying of the loss, collapse of what once was humanity. His words now buried under the weight of shame, rising anew, silent, steady wind through the dunes, whispering truths no longer silenced. He chose solitude of the mountain, not from fear, but for clarity, listening to the silence, hearing earth's quiet lament, and the ashes of the fallen, his voice sow a seed, growing in the cracked soil of war aftermath, a reminder that wisdom endures, even when the world forgets. Fires consume, he stands apart, witness to the ruins, keeper of truths, bushman, in a world reborn from its own ashes. And cut.
Okay. Yes. Yes. So, but let me. I love the way that you write. I love the stories that you weave together. Not even the stories, but the concepts that you delve into. You understand? This piece gave me a feeling of like a deep loneliness, more like a sacred loneliness, because when you're a keeper, like when you hold truth, it's more like the ideal that you are in a world full of people who choose lies instead. And so it's
Mhm.
like the people say, you always have to take the moral high ground. And so I understand the witness to ruins, but also the phoenix that rises out of the ashes as well. So I did like that. So I want to ask you, is it heavy carrying truth in a world who denies it?
I must say yes, because a lot of people, they will rather not hear the truth. They rather the comforting lies. They do not like what is going on, but yet
Mhm.
they will just smile and they don't know, or they don't even speak what they think is right, and they do not live what is right.
Right. You are so correct about that. I definitely agree with that. I think that's one of the hardest things is and we talk about hypocrisy. And it was easy for me to see it in everybody else. Hello, Lost Boys. I'm so sorry. They're all sending comments and stuff. So I do wanna let you see them because they're all coming in. Hello. We appreciate the love for sure. I love it. So let's go.
Hey,
I'm sure this is in regards to. So yes, thank y'all for coming through. And then this is Reaper 95. He says, "Let's get it." All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining in. If you do have any questions for the Ono, just go ahead and type them in the comments, and we will definitely get to them. So back to what I was saying is that I do believe that it is somewhat what you say. It is very hard to be the bigger person in a sense. And I do think that I know that the poem that you wrote was it captured that very well. So you being a beacon amongst chaos is that's having clarity in a world that chooses murky water essentially. Okay, fix the glasses
yes.
because you can see what you're talking about.
Mhm.
It's a lot of
Yeah,
blind people in
because
the world.
because I have a light here and it actually, wow. So
Mhm.
glasses slipping, light in my eyes, but it's all good.
Absolutely. I want to say that you carried the ember of creative expression through 20 years away from poetry. What kept that alive and what did the quiet of the pandemic sound like to you? Like, what did that do for you?
Okay, so I just like put this whole pause because mentally I just like wanted to give up writing. So I did, but the moment because of being a teacher, I found it okay. So school closed. What's next?
Mhm.
I just literally sat down, take me about 10, maybe 15 minutes, and created a piece where I created this metaphoric piece about where the band will still play. Teachers were the maestro and they have to guide each student. And no matter what, because teachers always will be getting a bad name. So, you know what? They just need a gentle reminder. And what's the first thing I know to do? Write a story, write a poem.
Mm.
And that was like one of my first pieces that, okay. And after that flame was relit, it just never stopped.
Okay. All right. I like that. But I mean, and I wanna say this after 20 years and Lost Boy said, I'm sorry. He said I have a question and then he asked, how long after we stopped recording did it take for you to invite him on your show? Listen, you know what the crazy thing is? It's okay. So I do wanna shout out the Lost Boys podcast before we go, the Cipher Circle, before I go anywhere. So that is essentially how I was introduced to the Ono. Um, Dylan, he is an amazing he's an amazing person, just first of all. So, and then he also hosts a podcast called The Lost Boys Cipher Circle. You can definitely tune in on Facebook, and you can follow the page on Facebook, and you can tune in on YouTube. Lots of
Mm-hmm.
great talent that comes through there. I've had tons of people like crossing platforms, like if that's what we're talking about. I've had tons of his artists that he has on his show come on here, and even he's been on here. So if you want to see his interview, it's on YouTube.
Yeah,
Definitely go out, support. And I will tell you that it probably didn't take that long.
yeah.
It wasn't long. We had it.
And shout out to Dylan on his season 3, where
Mhm.
my dear Desi and I will be on next week episode.
Yes, on the 26th. Catch us.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes, I had a lot of technical difficulties, but I still showed up.
Uh,
Oh, you're my favorite
yeah,
poet, actually. So, no.
yeah, yeah. All right. And Dylan, this one is for you. So I am going to quote it. So put on your things, Dylan. This is the first reference. Oh yeah. So the reference Taylor Swift. I think when I say there has been a glitch.
Yes, okay. That's exactly what you need to title that episode. There has been a glitch, and it definitely was. But speaking of the Lost Boy Cipher Circle podcast, and I really hate to give this away, but there was a piece that you did, and it was called "Weapons of Poor Destruction," and I remember it because it resonated so heavily with me, and I think that that is a theme in some of your poems, and I know like you are not afraid to delve deeper. I usually like to say that I'm a creature of my own depth. You understand that
Mm-hmm.
that's just how I was created because I had no problem swimming through the dark areas. I want to ask, how do you craft light? Like you're saying, in every ending, I'll find something new without turning away from the darkness.
Yeah, because what happened is, I have found that life is what you make it, as they will always say. But it comes like, I'll put it in a metaphor of Hulk in the first Avengers movie, where they
Hmm.
say, when he told them, okay, but how are you going to get angry? And the Hulk, Bruce Banner said, well, I'm always angry. So
Mm.
for me, like, the darkness is part of my soul. So it could, as I say, well, usually tell my friends, hi, I am the glimmer of darkness in your sunshine and your light.
Yes.
Because what happened is, when we think about the world, it has yin and yang.
Yeah.
So when we look at it that way, we have the good, because good and evil must coexist. Because if there's only one, the place will be boring, or it will be torture.
Hmm.
So this is how my poetry resonates, because I could be happy, but still have to remind myself that, okay, within joy, you must have the sadness, you must have the anger. Or I could be angry, and it will be twist that, okay, yes, everything is going bad, but I need to rise. And to quote one of my favorite women in the world, rest in peace, Maya Angelou, like smoke, we always rise.
Absolutely. Yes. Okay. I like that. I like that. And you know what? I love that you bring up Maya Angelou because the ideal there is a interview with her and James Baldwin. And when I tell you that it is one of the most poetic conversations that you will ever hear a day in your life, like if you ever have time, it's on YouTube. and you can watch it. It's Maya Angelou and it's James Baldwin, and they are talking. And when I tell you, they talk about their struggle so poetically. And I will say that you have been chosen for a very high award based off of your ability to articulate the human struggle, but not only articulate the human struggle, but to articulate success while pressured by the human struggle, to still overcome, to still achieve. What I was going to say to that is that is why you were chosen, and you were the only Trinidadian. And this whole group of people from London, people from, you were telling me this earlier. I want to
Mhm.
ask you, how does that feel?
Well, it makes me proud because in Trinidad, I am basically unknown. So
Mhm.
my ripples may be rooted in Trinidad, but it actually transcends our shores
Absolutely.
because poetry has now become borderless. COVID proved that we are borderless because I am sitting in my living room in Trinidad.
Mhm.
You are sitting in your living room in America, and
Mhm.
yet we both impacting different parts of the world.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But at the same time, impacting the same parts of the world. You know what I'm saying? So that is something that I must agree with you on. The thing is that I feel like for so long people were out of touch with the arts in general, just period, whether it be poetry or even when you think about the music. I mean, you got to sift through a lot of BS to find something pretty decent these days to even listen to. But for poetry, I never had to do that. When I found poets, it was always the ideal that it was raw, it was from their chest, from the experiences that they had went through, and they had a way of articulating that. And that is what lets me know that words definitely have the ability to transcend cultures, different barriers, language barriers, all of those types of things, simply because it is spoken from a place that doesn't need anything that's tangible. So, and I know that's why your words carry so much weight when you do write. You took this 20-year hiatus. I want to ask, did you ever feel like you were like cut off from creativity, or how was that?
Okay, because even now, I will feel okay. Why am I doing it?
Mhm.
And then I have to remind myself because it's people like Dylan, people like you, they remind me how, oh my gosh, my words are worth something. Because
Mm.
to me, I get literally, I'll say I get bored. I just get fed up of even my work because I will be on what I call my dark side. Because even during COVID, I wrote like what have been like two books, one, and I just read it. I hated it. I deleted it. But then I have to keep reminding myself, you know, I may not even find my own words resonating with me, but it will
Mhm.
always touch somebody else.
Yeah.
Because mentally, we all will, I'm sure, we know that yes, we may have the support, but sometimes we don't feel it.
Yeah.
And this is where I am sure we will be have this equilibrium to say, okay, no, it doesn't matter. But then we have to keep reminding ourselves, okay, yes, we feel that way, but sometimes intrinsic motivation is not enough. We also need that extrinsic motivation from other poets, from our audience listening, because that is what will bring us back to say, okay, we are worth it.
Hmm. I like that. Yes. where roots meet wings. And I want to tell you that I made this, I named that this because I because you didn't you it's not that you forget your roots of where you're from or
Mhm.
anything like that, but your roots still have the ability to allow you to transcend what it is that you are rooted in. It doesn't take much. You engage a lot of my mind. You make me think. And I love that because when you're listening to something, and people say that art is supposed to make you think. When you look at a picture or something like that, like when I look at your background,
Mhm.
it gives me, like, I don't know, some Dracula lair or something back there, Lord of the Rings almost. It's really
Eh,
like something like that for me. So
Uh,
it evokes.
I must say, thank you for a little bit of AI and my own digital art, because
Mhm.
that's another one of my forte. I like to create my own feelings in this
Yes.
way, and AI will just make it a little bit easier to connect what I want to see. Because let me just close my
Yeah.
thing. So, uh, uh, as I say, the first piece was called Bushman, and it is literally, I'm not sure if you're seeing like the ground of hearts, and this is where he became exiled.
Yeah.
So as poets we all become exiled at some point, because uh, as an artist, what we say, what we do, what we paint will offend someone, we be cancelled. Yet
Mhm.
we, like in Greek mythology, say Cassandra, when you give the warning, everybody will always say, no, that isn't true. And they cause you to become exiled in everything.
Mhm.
So you will see, is my message empty, or is someone actually listening? So sometimes we have to remind ourselves, even if no one listening, the truth will always find a way to come out.
I absolutely believe that. And I think that goes back to what Dylan has said about you being light. And essentially that it just it makes a full circle. But not only that you are light, you understand how to balance that light. You know what I'm saying? I think sometimes some people lean too far to the left or too far to the right, but the ideal of having the right amount or just enough, you got it, Goldilocks. You definitely got it. Uh, how did I would like to know, how did your own fractures during your hiatus deepen your understanding of human strength?
Well, actually, at times I would say it didn't, but then it will be actually thinking about it. I may not have seen it in the moment, but it is what actually created a vault in me. So when the words have to drip, as Dylan will say, it will actually drip and create this sea of words that actually create this story
Mhm.
now. Because as we know, when rain is falling and we have to create this dam, so the water is caught for when a drought is coming. So for the 20 years it will come like I was just filling myself with these words and not realizing why am I filling myself with these words, these messages, these stories.
Mhm.
Because I will say they always talk about oral tradition and Caribbean culture, and
Mhm.
all over the world they will have some form of storytelling. That is one part of it. But then we have to think about what are our visual culture and visual
Mhm.
traditions, because we could see something now and no words ever spoken, but then create our own story of it. Because I'm looking at it right now as the world turns, we're seeing what is happening in the news.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where, like, my poetry, as I said on Lost Boys, it I feeling at war because, and the war is not only like what is going out there. It is the war within ourselves. The
Mm.
war that is, okay, am I doing what I'm supposed to do? Or is it the war I am being silent when I need to speak? Because it also reminds me of this war in my mind is, oh my gosh, I cannot remember the artist who sang the words I never said. And poetry right now is, I cannot be offended if people wouldn't be offended if I stay quiet. People wouldn't be offended and actually think about their actions if you stay quiet.
Mm-hmm.
So, and even you can't question your own actions if you don't talk to yourself and become a reflective practitioner on
Yeah.
who am I and what am I doing to better the system, or am I ruining the system by staying silent and not standing for what is right? Because I work with students and person with special needs, and it's not even a disability. I will call it exceptionalities and
Mm-hmm.
different abilities, because you could learn from all students with, or as I say, without disabilities. But we have to realize that a disability is something we all cannot do, because that is what makes us unique and how we have to view the world and help the world. Because as I say, you will build on your strengths, yes, but you lean on people who could reinforce what is your weakness so you don't fall.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. I want to say that your philosophy is expresses the depth of your poetry, and
Yeah,
I definitely love that. So,
uh,
um, I love the way you broke that down. Everything I could. What did you teach when you were a teacher? What was it that you taught?
no, okay, well, I am a teacher,
Hmm.
and I teach students with special needs.
Okay.
When,
Oh man. Well,
and
thank
when
you.
I initially started teaching, one of the
Hmm.
very first schools I was teaching at was one that is in one of area that has a lot of poverty. So this is where you'll see it, that school and the people in that area in Trinidad will always have a bad name. And it's like how they will say ghetto.
Hmm.
And so we have, but the thing is, if we condemn everybody and think everybody have to be in a certain position, have a certain amount of money, look at how much people who change in the world came from the said ghetto that people talk about.
Hmm.
Because it's how you could build your nation, how you could build your community. Because you don't even have to build the entire community. How do you affect one life to make it better? And
Right.
it's not only your family life, but a total stranger.
Mhm. Yes. Now, is this so? Even with you working with children who have special needs, you also do a lot of advocating for animals, which I
Yes.
love. That is beautiful. And also, I think I will say, I'll be brazen enough to say that I also think that that advocacy definitely shows up in a lot of your writing as well. You really do give the voiceless a voice. And I'll say this for a lot of the poets that I have recently met, that they have a way of capturing uh voices that have gone so unheard for so long. And you would think that there will be people who will come and they'll be like, no, that's this or that's that, and it's all, they'll tear your art down. And I'll say that that's a good thing for me because it's still doing exactly what it's supposed to do. So even the people that we deem that might not be listening, or even the ways that we think that we have taken things, but it is stress, because we also have to think about how our environment plays out outside of us, and how we allow it to affect us on the inside. So I do think that you have always been capable of walking with that solidarity. I want to allow you to do another piece at this time. I
Okay.
would take myself off, and then I will let you give us your piece.
Okay.
All right.
So we all have conflict within ourselves. So this piece is called Battle Scars. Quiet dawn shadows stretch and fade. Love once bloomed, a sacred fire, garden God tended and made. Storms of doubt, whispers of shrapnel in the soul, pierce through the armor, leaving fragments taken tool. Moments shard of glass, shining with memories sweet, reflection of love that once made two hearts beat. Even in breaking, in the ache of despair, whispers of divine guidance lingers softly in the air. Journey wounds bleed, they are not in vain. Scars are stories written deep in hope amid the pain. Crucible of loss, broken pieces lie. God's light remains a beacon guiding two hearts through the sky. Though roads diverge and part like aquamarine rivers, flowing separate and wide, faith binds the soul's voyage with love forever by its side. Love, like sacred scripture, endures beyond the tears, testament eternal beyond the fleeting years. Sharpener of heartache, war scars, flesh of time, reminders of love enduring this climb. Broken pieces, fissures, and cracks lies the promise of a renewal and hope that never slacks. Hold fast the promise, allow faith to be your guide. Love's eternal journey with God ever beside. Though the battle scars whisper stories of love lost and being torn, they also sing of love reborn. It is evermore reborn. Anchored.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Let me tell you. Let me tell you something. And I think this is exactly what I was just talking about right before we went into that piece. That there is a thing, even when we think about the piece of, oh man, the piece about chaos that you had said.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about that, and I think for myself that I literally had to walk through all of the things that I was told to even, what I keep telling people is love yourself free. And whatever that looks like for you, you have to decide. You understand what I'm saying? But I just think that that is something that you capture so beautifully, especially with talking about allowing God to guide you and all of those things like that. I think that's very important, especially if you are faith based and different things like that, whether you believe it to be outside of you or within you. That is something that
Mm-hmm.
I definitely believe is very important. Your work is very necessary. I don't know if you've ever been told that.
Well, and the thing is, as I always say, I don't believe in religion
Yeah.
because no matter which religion you want to say you're from, if you look at everyone who is there. Did they go to a building or did they go to people's houses? Did they meet on the streets?
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see when Jesus even went to the building, what did he do in the end? Didn't he kick everybody out and let everybody
Mm-hmm.
actually have to meet on the streets? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so is why are we looking and divided based on a God who already tell us it's only one? And I want you to see me and your brethren. Because when I was hungry, you fed me. When I was thirsty, you gave me drink.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in prison, you visited me. So
Mm-hmm.
again, it's not where you meet, because you have to be the goodness you want to see in the world. You cannot be complaining about the people who in charge, as they say, um, being the good, because we all know their motive, their modus operandi, but
Mm-hmm.
we are the ones who are our own keepers. We are our brothers and sister keeper. So we have to be the voice for the voiceless, no matter if it is a human, animal, or even if it is the humblest of people.
Yes, you're so correct. I started reading a few of your books. I didn't get the opportunity to get through many of them, and I do know you sent me a few, and I will
Mhm.
post them there. Hi, Elizabeth. Hello. She was saying 100 to what you said. So, welcome, girl. It's good to see you. There is one you said it was the first one that you well, it wasn't the first one that you sent me, but when you came
Mhm.
back, you sent me this one, and it was that now that's what I call poetry. And now this
Yes,
one, I go through it. And the titles, some of them I recognize, some of them I didn't. Are you a Swiftie?
of course.
Okay.
Dylan, I know you're listening, so add that to the thing.
Yes, but I really I love how you put that book together. I would like to ask you, what was your inspiration for that book?
Okay, so now that's what I call poetry. Is actually, as I said, like when I got depressed, it had like certain poems that
Mm-hmm.
actually missed being deleted. So from 2020 to 2023, when I found like these mixed poems all over the place, because there are two books I made like that, which is that now that's what I call poetry, and
Mm-hmm.
eras. So
Yes.
it's like different poems from when COVID started. I just did different things. I entered, yeah, and now that's what I call poetry. It was actually posted on different poetry pages, and I won like different competitions. You know, they'll have like weekly competitions.
Yes.
So that one is more like that. But eras were like the ones never seen by anyone, and I just put it together like when I found it.
Okay. And you can find all of his books on Amazon. That's where I found them. And they're also available on Kindle as well. So and do you have any other sites that they're on it or Soci?
No, it's just that because this is the bad thing about being in Trinidad.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of runarounds to get it on the other sites
Okay.
without it having like major charges and things. So, and even now with these books, I will have it, but it's like okay, who is profiting? This is why I say a, a lot of these artists now,
Mm-hmm.
they're complaining that they could spell millions of streams, but yet they could only buy a pack of gum.
Okay.
So,
Okay. It's not what you think.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely understand that. And you're working on books currently right now. What is it
Yes.
that we can expect? What are the titles
Okay.
again?
Okay. Well, this I am not sure the title yet,
Okay.
but in my mind, I am actually working on like war poems. Like these
Hmm.
four pieces are like four of the first pieces because I haven't really put together anything, but I'm creating like another ebook to put on Amazon. I'm hoping by August.
Okay.
I created one um, back in February for Black History Month, a chapbook for a competition.
Yeah.
I didn't win, but they were saying they actually, I forget the publishing company, they say I actually placed 18th, is it 18th or 20th in the top. So they actually say, like, being placed like that, I could actually put it on a book that I was entered the competition and I placed, I can't remember the number.
Hmm.
So I am actually thinking to add some poems to that and put it as an ebook, or maybe, or the first iteration, like what I have right now, as an ebook, and then add some more to make a hard copy book that you could purchase. And I'm also doing a year long poetry
Hmm.
challenge, and the person who is publishing it is actually going to give a major portion of proceeds
Hmm.
to water and water conservation, because we know, um, yes, we could take, but we also have to give back.
Yeah. You're right about that. We can't take, but we also definitely have to give back. And I think that is a very great mentality that you walk with as well. Can I ask you who inspired you to start writing?
Hmm. Well, honestly, I just, when I was growing up, it may sound funny, but my dogs actually inspired me,
Oh,
because when
wow.
I was like 8, 9 years old, I was
Hmm.
I created like, we Home Alone was big back then, of course. So I created my own version, and it was about my dog.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
like that.
and then I will say, like, different people in my life will have some form of inspiration, because, and all too well, there is one poem called All Too Well Deep Cuts, because
Hmm.
for some reason Amazon government trouble to do the full version as a hard copy. But for the soft version, you will see the last poem called All Too Well Deep Cuts, and that is a major part of my life. And I edited, and it was used in a piece, was it last year or 2023, for mental
Hmm.
health, because of things I went through, and it just flowed, because some people, as I believe, I'm trying to remember, if it was in that one where one of the poems in that book I said, where I feel like a broom being used and just placed back in a closet, because
Hmm.
a lot of people will feel like that, but you will never know that, because, as people tell me, they see like different things with me, but I will never complain. I always have a smile on my face, especially when it comes to my students.
That's good. I
So
like that.
because what happened is, it's a theory that is called the hidden curriculum. Students learn more from the teacher by what is not said, but what is the teacher does. So if I want my students motivated and say, okay, I need them to keep going, so let us go together. Let us fight for the next step. We can't
Mhm.
say we giving up. And then
That's
if something good happens to you, you always have to remain humble. You cannot be, oh my gosh, so this is going on, and you want to puff your chest and be better than everybody. No.
yeah.
To quote Kendrick Lamar, bitch, be humble. Sit down,
Okay.
be humble.
That's it. Yes. Bitch, sit down. Be humble. I feel that. I like that. Hello, Marissa. I wanted to say hello to you. Thank you for tuning in. I just want to reiterate that if you guys have any questions for Ono, you can go ahead and put them in the chat. They will be asked. So go ahead and engage with us because that's what we're here for. This man is a well of knowledge. Obviously, if you've been watching, you would know that. But I definitely appreciate you for making tonight's podcast so possible. And I have had a pleasure getting to explore you. How long was it that you were away? How long have you been writing again?
Literally since March 13th, 2020.
Okay, okay. We
The
5 years
first day the
in.
world shut down.
Yes, we 5 years in. That's good. So
Mhm.
you just had your 5 year anniversary. Look at that. Now, and on your fifth year, is this the first time that you've been nominated for the international?
Yes. Spoken
Okay,
word awards, yes.
yes,
Um Last year I was actually thought I would have lost, but it was what was a competition I entered. Again, the only Trinidadian, and in fact the only person from the Caribbean,
yeah.
placing third.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, yeah, and the piece I did back then was called Karma.
You want to
Of
read it for
course,
us? You
ooh,
got it.
it's for uh, um, hmm. I wonder if I could find it though, because as I said, uh, I lost a lot of access to what I had
Hmm.
before. I was
Yeah.
hacked, so yeah, it will be because one of my major bad habits is I would literally write on social media
Hmm.
and I never took it off and put it on anywhere else. So when I got hacked, um, I sort of lost a lot of things. But let me see. I may not have that one. Which one do I have? Oh, there's one that I completed. Let's see. What is it? I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, take
Um,
your time.
hmm, 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 hmm.
Okay.
Oh
And
yeah,
just to
yeah.
reiterate, you guys, you can purchase his books on Amazon. I will add the links into the chat so then that way you'll be able to go ahead and click on them and it'll give you easy access. As he stated, his profiles have been hacked currently. So if you are looking to follow
Hmm.
him and support his page, you will do so on Facebook at Ono, just the way it's spelled in the on the flyer on the background there, if you can see it, the Ono's Journey Home. So make sure you
Yeah,
follow them, support them.
yeah,
It's great art, great food for thought, things to help you marinate in some things, especially if you're feeling like you're in a dark place. There's a lot of hope in what he writes.
ooh,
And so if you need a catalyst to boost you, something to help you feel like um you're doing better. You're on the up and up. To remind you of the giant that you are, I definitely recommend that you purchase his books. They are very thoughtful and very well thought out, actually. So I was having a blast reading that. Now that's what I call
yeah,
poetry. It
yeah.
took me back. It was nostalgic. You found it?
Mhm. Yeah. Okay, I couldn't find karma, but as you were talking about when you feel okay, you're down and everything, I just found
Mhm.
this one from back in 2023 called I Am Replaceable.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take myself off the stage and let you have it.
Mhm.
Thank you for doing something so on the
Mhm.
spot.
Yeah. Okay. So I am replaceable. I know my life is a fading light, wandering through the endless midnight. Whispers lost, time's cruel game, a flicker not, a burning flame. I know I am not important, just a ghost, a fading echo, a silent host. Every breath a stolen sigh, fleeting thoughts drifting on by and by. Death a lover, slow to call, hollow promises stall. I wait in patience, numb and still, feeling the void that time is long to fill. In crowded rooms, I stand alone, a vacant heart, crumbling stone, replaceable as a broken vase, falling softly. No one grieves this wicked heart, dead soul place. This truth, a bitter grace. On the dark side, I find my place. My canvas bear sinister shadows play. In the depth of midnight, alone I learn to stay. I am replaceable. Get me off your mind. Forget my existence. My very existence was a waste of time. All this time. And cut.
I got it right this time. I came right back. Oh my god! Because
Yes.
every other time I was hitting the wrong button, so that's what was taking me so. Okay.
Oh, no wonder you took a little long.
I
Yeah.
wasn't gonna tell you guys, but I decided that I'd be totally transparent. What? Oh, but yes. I, you know what? I'll be honest. That one gave me like a Grim Reaper feel. Like no,
Yeah.
like seriously, it did give it gave me like like something was like reaching out to grab you. There are things that definitely haunt us, but I do not think. But that ideal is so freeing that of course I'm replaceable. It allows you to open yourself up to so much more things that we're not just confined to one place. I think everybody talks about how about the infinite, and then they say then when you're born they tell you, oh, you have the ability to do anything, and what becomes so suffocating is how we trap ourselves into these little boxes. And I
Mm-hmm.
definitely think that for me, that poem captured that well. Like now how being replaceable might seem like a box, but it kind of like breaks the lid off of it actually. So because now you know, like if I'm replaceable, then I can go and do anything. But that might not be your mentality. So I'm like,
No, but
that's
also
mine.
yeah, but also when you think you know you're replaceable, right?
Hmm.
It well, that is another sense, as I said. You have to be more humble than anything because people, if you want to brag, people will quicker forget somebody who brags and who was humble and actually help them. Because
Hmm.
as I always say, and I am one of these people, I will talk to a CEO, um, maybe not the one from the Coldplay concert, but I could talk with and have lunch with a CEO the same way I could sit and have lunch with a cleaner because yeah, you have a different position, but both are human, both you could learn from. So, and you might even learn more from a cleaner than from the CEO because yes, you want to chase the money, but as Dylan knows, I created this character called Scrooge, which
Hmm.
is a clone between Ebenezer Scrooge and the Grinch, because like both they are hated by everyone,
Hmm.
but Scrooge did it and they were saying because he was materialistic. The Grinch, he was the one who was humble and poor. So I am like a clash of both because when you listen to the story of both teach you okay that this is not because of them, but because of the people around them and what hardened them to become who they were.
Hmm. That's true. I am going to ask you this question because I'm very curious. If future
Mm-hmm.
generations remember you for one thing unrelated to art, what would you want that to be?
Hmm. So I would, okay, beside my storytelling and my passion for helping everybody, I just want to be known as, okay, I was a kind person, I was humble, I was a resilient person, weathering the different storms in my life. And of course, I actually helped raise the flag of the red, white, and black Trinidad and Tobago in different places in the world.
Nice. I like that. Okay. Did you have any last words for the audience or anything like that?
Hmm. Let's see. Do I have any famous last words for tonight's show? Be yourself. Because sometimes as it's very cliche, but what happened is when you want to, if you know you have to speak up. Because silence will kill everything. Because we see what's going on in the world. People taking sides, but why are you taking sides? Because as I have been saying for many years, if you look at media, be it liberal or social, they
Mhm.
all create this fakeality show. So they spin it how they want you to see it. But it's not black and white. It's not even grays. It has so much colors, but you have to focus on what is the correct color. Because that's why my favorite color is black. Because as I say, white is actually the essence of all colors, and black is the presence of all. So we have to know that this is true. So stop focusing on who said what. Because as I say, the three sides of the story: side one,
Mhm.
side two, and the
And
truth.
true. Hey,
But
okay.
even that, I will say it will have more than three sides before the truth.
I know that's
So
right.
we just have to keep our eyes wide open, our ears listening, although this mouth need to know how to speak less at times, but we know that be honest to yourself, be honest to everybody around you.
Absolutely. And Elizabeth commented and said, kindness is remembered, not how you are dressed, but how you treat others. Oh no, tonight I will dedicate this closing poem to you. And
Mm-hmm.
it is called Chronic Truth. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Born a fiend before I knew my ABCs, hooked on the truth, the chronic drug that consumes yet sets me free. Where most crave highs that numb and blind, I, a fiend for clarity of a different kind. My roots sunk deep in a lonely land where others built delusions. I was a demolition man. Me and reality walked hand in hand. In truth, my compass guides me through the sinking sand. Most days, I feel the weight of my addiction, and I contemplate trading in my truth for sweet false fiction. And that's how chronic truth taught me conviction. It's a bitter cleansing tide I injected, and my soul is fortified. Though the path is long and the burden weighs, I'll forever chase the truth, even on my darkest of days. And I want to say thank you for being a carrier of truth in your work and all that you do. I appreciate you so much. I've had such I've been feel tremendously just sitting here listening to you. Your wisdom is so vast. I appreciate you for making tonight
Thank
possible.
you.
You are
Well,
so
well, well.
welcome.
I am always available for anytime you need a dose of truth.
Absolutely. Okay. Yes, absolutely. And again, I will reiterate, purchase his books on Amazon. You can also follow him on Facebook at the Ono, Thaono. Make sure
Yeah,
you check him out.
yeah,
And thank you so much,
yeah.
Elizabeth.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry.
because the new page I'm actually trying to create, and you can add me as a friend, is called Tha Ono Judas.
Oh, okay. The Ono
So
Judas.
I only got through with it like a couple weeks, but I say just to start somewhere, people could reach me over there.
Perfect. So you guys
Yeah,
make sure you
because
reach out.
because why I calling myself Tha Ono Judas, because another piece that I did was called Obedient Judas, because without Judas betraying Jesus, what
Mhm.
would have happened? Think
Yeah.
about it.
Probably wouldn't have died. No. Oh no. I'm just saying now.
Everybody has a purpose.
Yeah.
Uh,
So true.
and Judas' purpose was fulfilled. So why hate him for something that he was meant to do?
Yeah. He definitely
Because
was.
it have people like right now. I although I do not like politics, I do not like politicians, but even that is you're actually seeing who is real and who is not in your life when it comes to
Mhm.
politics.
Yeah, you do. You definitely do. I appreciate you so much. I will forever tell you how necessary you are. I will forever take a seat at your feet and learn from you, drink from the well that you are. Boy, you were pure water. I love it. But thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you for allowing for giving me the opportunity to get to know you better, to dive into who you are. I definitely appreciate it. Um, and
Yeah.
you are always welcome on the immersive experience anytime, every time. We talk about
All
way more
right.
different things. If we ever have a panel discussion, there was something that I did want to do is I wanted to put a panel discussion together, where we just did like more like kind of like a cipher, but all just dissecting poetry and different things like that, prose and poetry, not just poetry. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh,
I definitely want to put something together
yeah,
like
oh
that.
well. Next time then I will be on. I I have been because there was this thing I was actually doing with prose, but more.
Hmm.
But I have to again. I need a better e-filing system. It is somewhere in my cloud where it's
Okay.
actually prose, but about the Trinidadian culture and like different folklore characters.
Okay. Is it bad? It sounded bad on my end now.
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
You're dropping a little bit.
Okay. That's just thing trying to tell
It,
me to get off app, obviously.
yeah,
But
it's
I
back to
definitely
Wednesday. I
oh
said it's
yeah.
back to Wednesday. They're like, what's happening? Oh my gosh. I
Yes, we
blame
hear it.
Dylan.
Yeah, I hear it. I can hear it. I was thinking that when you start talking, I was like, oh. But thank you all so much for tuning into the immersive experience. Ono, thank you for making this such an amazing experience. And I hope you guys, if you're watching the playback, I hope you enjoyed the conversation and the gems that were dropped during this conversation. Again, you can follow him at the Ono Judas on Facebook and make sure you cop some of his books on Amazon. Thank you so much and have a good night.